Brought in some ruffle sword this time. I believe the correct pronunciation is Echinodorus marti. And you can see here, these are grown totally submerged, so this is what the plant looks like, and as you can see it's got the wavy leaves on it. Looks similar to an Amazon sword, but again it has the wavy leaves on it. This is a crypt that we brought in, Crypt ciliata. I believe that's what it is. Let me just verify that. Ciliata, yeah, Crypt ciliata. And I brought a bunch of these in. I'm starting to stock a lot more crypts. I've got a tank set aside just for crypts, so I'm bringing them in pretty much in every order. This is not one you see very often, and I'm not sure what it ends up looking like after it gets established in your tank. But here's what it looks like when it comes to me. It's basically, it's got a fairly, it's a very, very hard, almost like a stump, I guess, whatever. These don't seem to have any roots in them, but once you put them in your tank, they get rooted pretty well. You'll probably see them melt. These ones, I believe these ones melt quite easily when you transplant them, so certainly don't be shocked if that happens. Just make sure when you get the plant that the base sort of part of it is still solid. If it's mushy or whatever, then something happened in the shipping and it's not good. But as long as it's hard, then it should recover just fine. This is a slow growing crypt, as most are. And typically a order will consist of two of these plants for, I think these are $3.99 if I'm not mistaken. So if you're looking for a different crypt, this might be what you want. Here we have some Valesneri that we brought in. This one is commonly called red jungle val. I think on the website it's called red rubra. It's basically sort of the same as the green jungle val. Just as you can see, it's got a little bit of color at the tips. It's obviously not completely red, but it does get a little bit darker at the top, so if you're looking for that. It's a little bit smaller than the green jungle val from what I've seen, but it probably grows just as big, I would imagine, if it's from the same species. And I've got 3 bundles of 25 here. Basically I sell it in bundles of 3. So look for that on the site. Here we've got some Amania gracilis that I brought in from Singapore. Actually, this nursery calls it Nessia pedicellata. And then the other nursery I brought in from sometimes calls it Amania. So I had it from both places at one time, and I said to myself, geez, those things look exactly the same. So I did a little search on it, and sure enough, it's just another name for it, but it's basically the same plant. So it's a nice red, maroonish actually, kind of a color. And again, it's not one that you're going to want to put in your low-tech setup. This is another high-end. Make sure you got lots of good light on it. But it's a nice plant. Here's one that I brought in for the first time from this nursery. Looks quite a bit different than sort of what I thought it would look like. This one's Sagittaria platyphylia, I believe. This is known as broadleaf Sagittaria, and it's obviously a lot bigger than what I thought it was. And I'm not sure. It said it was grown submerged, but I don't know. This is looking like it's growing out of the water to me, because it doesn't look like these are sort of submerged aquarium leaves to me. But anyways, I don't even think I have it on the site, so I'm going to throw these in the tank and see what happens. I thought these were sword plants when I first opened it until I checked the invoice number. Anyways, we'll see what happens with these. I've brought this plant in a few times from Singapore. This particular nursery calls it Eustrala stellata. It's, to me, I brought in something similar from Florida. It was called Limnophila hyperodes, or Limnophila aromatica, and it looks basically identical to this. Here we have some Myrophyllum scrobratum, if that's how you pronounce it, commonly just known as green myrio. And this stuff looks really good. It's a fairly easy stem plant to grow if you compare it to something like, it's similar to maybe green kabomba, I think. But this one's actually quite a bit easier to grow, and looks sort of similar anyways. But this came in looking really nice. That's green myrio. But I never really had much luck with the ones from Florida. They always seem to arrive in really poor condition, and I was never able to sort of keep it in stock and well enough to be able to ship it. So I took it off my site, and then I started bringing in this one, which looks exactly the same. It's got a lot of purple in it. I don't know if we put it into the tank, if you can. No, you can't really see what it looks like there. But anyways, yeah, it's got a real nice purplish color to it, and it might be the exact same plant. I don't know. I'll do some research on it, but it's really nice if you're looking for something purple. But again, this is a demanding plant, so if you're low light, low tech setup, probably want to stay away from this one.